Hey You Guys!
Yeah, very good.
Hey, I'm here with Nikola from Hey You Guys! Perfect. Let's go.
Did you think 10 years ago when you made this film, you'd be sat here chatting about it 10 years later?
I didn't think I would. Didn't want to, but here we are. It's so lovely. It's like that time passed pretty fast, really. I mean, I was busy doing lots of things, and then suddenly Kathy, the producer, and one of my dear friends, he's over there, he said, hey, it's been 10 years. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 50. And he said, we're going to bring the film out again. And that's actually, I hadn't seen it for probably about 8 years, and I just watched it about a month ago. It's still really good. And I don't usually watch my stuff, and I like this one.
What do you think it is that still resonates with audiences today?
This guy. That man there, right there. I think that it's just a sweet film. Like this, you know, there's so many films that bring you down, and people are so determined. I mean, life is hard, and we're living in some tough times, and then you want to go and pay $25 to be reminded of how shit the world is? No. It's nice to actually go and see something charming and, like, you know, and where it's like you can actually enjoy yourself, and it's unapologetically charming, I think, is the way I describe the film. And I think we need more and more things that are sort of silly and fun and entertaining, but not dumb.
I would agree. And obviously we can't really talk about this film without chatting about Sam Neill.
Sam!
I know.
Show us the sign you're here. You can delete that bit.
I actually was reading that he named one of his pigs
He named one of his pigs after me, and then I checked in. That was an ugly pig. And I checked in with him, and I said, how's Taika the pig? And he said, he was delicious.
Well,
I ate him for Christmas.
That does say a lot about his character. Can you tell me a little bit about him as a person? I
mean, that was him. He got other. I think he had a Laura Dern was maybe a chicken. I can't remember. What were some of the other animals he had? Anyone he'd worked with, or his friends, became animals on his farm, and just, you know, he just cared deeply about people and people he loved, and he was always just check in and see how people were going. And I'm not very good at that, you know. I don't like sort of. I'm too lazy to like, hey, how you doing? Checking in. But he was always like that, and it just makes you feel really nice when someone does that, and you know, and you realise that they're thinking of you. So yeah, and he just looked after people. When he was on the set, he was the most experienced out of all of these people, and myself included. And he was just no ego. I mean, the guy had done Jurassic Park and Hunt for the Red October and Omen 3. I mean, he had done it all, and he was just there, just making sure we stayed in our lane, and and that everyone was having fun and doing what they needed to do, and making sure he could help.
Wow. And him and Julian's relationship in this film is really the heart of it all. Yeah. How's it been watching Julian over the last 10 years? His career's blossomed.
I know, infuriating. He turns out he didn't need me at all. I'm so proud of him, and I just watched, you know, when I watched the film lately, I was just, God, what a sweetheart. He's just like this beautiful, beautiful kid who I just, you know, I've worked with a lot of children. It's, you know, people say, oh, you love working with children. I don't. They're hard work, but like this kid was so good. I looked forward every day to him turning up, seeing what he would do. And his relationship with Sam was just really incredible, and I think that's what's so believable, and you can really feel it on screen. Is because they would just they'd hang out all day long and just chat. And Sam, you'd see Sam sitting in his little chair on the side of the set, just listening, because Julian just would never stop talking about things. It was just so great, you know.
That's so sweet. And I was actually reading, back when you were promoting this film in 2016, you said that you thought you might run out of ideas for films or lose interest.
I have. It finally happened.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I don't think it did happen. I was wondering, where do you stand on that now? I'm still going. I did consider that maybe I had, but then I think I was just too tired. I took about 3 months off at the beginning of the year, and it was one of the nicest things ever to do nothing for a little bit. Anyway, I got bored, and so I'm back. I've got another film coming out later in the year, Clara and the Sun, and I'm really proud of that one. That's going to be, I can't wait for people to see that. And then I'm writing at the moment, doing some
work developing with Percival Everett, who's been adapting his book James into a screenplay, and that hopefully is what I should do next.
Great. Well, I also saw that you recently acquired Studio West with
and that.
Cliff and Jason, which obviously focuses on Maori and Polynesian stories. And you've talked before how films like Boy, come from kind of a personal place. What is it that draws you to these stories?
Well, I think those films, like the New Zealand-centric ones, that's a lot of them relate to how I grew up and my experience being from New Zealand, and I feel like New Zealand cinema, we don't make many things, and so I really was trying to champion just getting more and more of our films made. How many films do we make a year? 4, if we're lucky. And so it's a small pond, and I'd like to see more of our stuff being made, and more of our things on the global stage. And it's just important as well for Māori, for Polynesian storytellers to be able to get their stuff seen, because it's hard enough coming from a small country, and it's hard enough coming from a minority as well to get your work produced.
Yeah, and since Wilderpeople, do you feel like the industry's kind of opened its door a bit more to stories like this, or does that door still?
I think so, but it comes in waves. There's like there are certain countries that have sort of have their moments, and New Zealand had a few moments in the past, and I think we're kind of on the verge of having another moment. But I think, it's vital that we see stories from other places, so this helps us relate to other people, and people from other walks of life, and realise, we're all the same, and we actually have the same stories, and we have the same experiences, and we have the same fears, and the same prejudices, and the same hang-ups, and so it's if we just sort of stuck to, it's like the food in places like England. If it weren't for immigration, the menu would be pretty bland, right? And it's like same in America, same in anywhere. So you want that menu to be, to have vitality, and to just to be eclectic and have a mix of tastes.
And to take it back to the Wilderpeople for a second, it was shot within 25 days in the bush, in the winter.
Yeah.
Is there any memory that really stands out from that time?
Yeah, I think it was just myself and the whole crew all banded together in the middle of a snowstorm, sort of trying to protect the gear, and we didn't really know how to get out and what we should do for the day. And then we sort of just decided to come up with this really cool shot where the camera turns around and all these circles, and we sort of had all these extras and stuff, and we kind of constructed this thing just because we were snowed in and couldn't do what we were trying to do for the day, and something really magical came from that. And it's just about people being like-minded and not complaining and saying, well, I'm going home then, and just saying, okay, well, what can we do here, and how can we make the best of that? And you don't get that very often on films.
It looks really cool in the film. And to wrap up, I was wondering if maybe we could write a little haiku together for why people
let's do it.
Should go to see the film now. Okay. Do you remember the structure?
Oh, sure do.
Okay.
So, but you said we.
Okay, we.
Okay, so I'll do the first line. You do the second. I'll do the third.
Okay.
So I got 5, 7, 5.
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
So many.
Do you want me to do the first one?
Okay. Yeah, you do the first one.
Okay. Back in cinemas.
From August 7th. From only from August 7.
Go see it or else. Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure. And
Cheers,
I love this film.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's so nice I get to come chat to you about it. Because it's, 10 years old. So.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey You Guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you